Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I am Lowery Smith.
Don't worry, we're cousins. He got us right away. What's the $5 one? Don't worry, we're cousins.
We're cousins. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. $5. Yeah, is that?
What is our donation for the $5? What
do you have the jelly beans up? That should just be.
No, it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a bean in there. What are you doing?
There's the Bean Boozle.
There's a normal shot. I guess there's a Bean Boozled. I guess we just take five of
five
those
Bean Boozles
throughout.
Is that what's going on?
You said eat some poop flavored beans. Oh yeah. He said poop flavored beans. So that is the Bean Boozled. So dang it.
All right. All right. Mr. Hockey.
We'll do it throughout. We'll mix it in with the shots. I think we could probably do one before and one after, one before, one after.
4,
so
5. I got them. I got it mixed up. All right, I got
enough
that I can cross it off. Well,
right.
If you didn't notice, you can donate, and we will destroy our innards in the middle. We have 3 shots lined up already, but you can donate for future stuff. Josh with a Malort shot, Moldy Ace with a normal, regular, everyday shot. You know, that still sucks. Shot. And then Paul with a Malort shot as well. And then Mr. Hockey with 5 Bean Boozles. We will both be taking all of that.
Oh, fun stuff. That's good. I mean, we haven't done the Bean Boozled. I was wondering how long. I mean, really, these were going to last us a while because it's always hot beans. Everybody wants to torture us. Okay, so this is episode 240. Last week was a fun episode. We did Blueprint with building your deck. And then what are we doing today? We're following that up with another Blueprint, right, Lau?
We're going to do Blueprint of your mana base, and we'll have a general outline. We kind of focused, I think, on like 2-color, and then we'll expand for monocolored and more colored, and we'll figure it. We'll explain the reasoning and maybe some specifics.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that. We have a new, did I write that down? Yes, we have a new, cause you got stumped last week. You started off so strong. You knew what the card was, but it was the whole, I know what the card is. I just don't know the name. And you got a little.
You even gave me the word, but generally if it's a word that I don't know, I just skip it and figure all, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I do that in reading. I do that with names and dates and stuff like that.
I don't know what this thing. What is this reading business?
It is a business. Lots of people do it.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a new one, and actually it's Joda the Unifier in foil. It's not the stained glass one, but it's the regular foil of Joda there. So that is going to be the new Stump this week. We have the results for Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, which was, maybe we stick with Magic cards.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say the numbers across the board for each voting category was I wouldn't say significantly down, but it was a lot. It was further down than, we might be older than, well, no, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are still a thing. I was going to say, maybe we're just too old for that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
maybe we were just debating the older aspects of it. Raul, Julia, and
so that
shit like that.
So we might not do that very often. I thought it was gonna be a hit. To be honest with you, I was gonna be like, maybe this is what Staple Versus is from now on. We're just gonna be doing non-Magic cards, but nope, we'll go right back to Magic cards. So what is our Staple Versus for this week?
It's gonna be Azusa, Lost But Seeking, versus Dryad of the Ilysian Grove. So Adam has Dryad, I have Azusa. We'll see how that goes.
It should be interesting. There's some I thought you were taking your bean already. You're just getting some lip stuff on there, aren't you? Getting a little chappy chap.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't. Yeah, fall.
Yeah, I can already start to feel that my skin is getting all dry and stuff. It's nice. Okay, so we're not gonna do a 2-hour episode.
That's what they're accusing of us of. And maybe.
We kind of shoved things together last week. We're like, oh, we'll do a top 5 or fave 5 and we'll do this. And then, it turned out to be 2 hours.
Well, let's just stop doing a main segment and just do
Stump the
Staple versus done.
And then just bullshit
that's what people want anyway.
I guess I gotta mention one thing I was gonna kind of talk about. I was gonna make a little serious really quick. I'm gonna shorten this a lot. But I had kind of an incident last week, not right after the podcast, but the next morning. I had a panic attack that kind of kicked in the morning. It was crazy. And so that's why podcast was late last week, because I was supposed to edit last week and I was in the emergency room and all that stuff. I thought I was having a heart attack or stroke, because man, panic attacks are fucking weird and your brain doesn't work. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. My wife was getting up to work and I got up because I had a headache, but I started walking and everything was just, it felt like I was completely stoned is what it felt like. It was out of body. Everything was blocky. It was choppy and my whole body was going numb. And then my left arm went numb and all that. So then my wife called 911 and ambulance came and all that. They said my heart was good, probably a panic attack. But in that moment, when you're in a panic attack, I was just like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. I'm having the most unique thing ever and I'm dying and you're wrong. So they brought me in the hospital and turned out it was a panic attack. Got on some meds and actually I go to see the doctor tomorrow to make sure, that everything's good and all that stuff. But yeah, it was fucking scary because there was some morbid shit that went through my head. Like thinking that, my kids are 5 and 7 and I was like, they're not even going to remember me. I'm like a blip on their timeline of life. Yeah, it was shitty. But that's what kept it going.
Shitty thought.
Because you just keep going into a cycle. And I was like, oh, I'm leaving Cindy. And I was like, she's going to have to contact Lowery to get my magic cards sold so she can have some extra money.
I'm glad you had it all planned out, though, at least.
That is a plan that I have talked to her like a few months ago. I was like, I don't want to tell you this because I'm not saying that I'm like going to die, but if anything ever happens to me, talk to Lowery. She's like, oh, I already know. Like, of course I'm going to go to Lowery. But I was like, if something happens to me, you just take my collection. You go, Lowery here. Because
Kirsten has no idea. I don't know. I haven't talked about that. I just assume I'll do all right.
Yeah. And then I was like, what's going to happen to the podcast? Lowery's going to have to get his brother because they keep CommanderSmiths going and all this. Like, fuck, it was ridiculous.
And we talked a little bit about this last night after the gameplay, but if
mental health,
if anything happens to you, just so everybody knows that's listening, the podcast is done.
Like, so you better hope both of us survive this, because one of us
you can move on. You can go love someone else. That's fine. But if it's without you, like most of it's just like technicality wise, I can't do anything. And
how do computers work? It's like it's in the computer.
I'm outside the Apple, like tapping on it. And I'm just a chimpanzee, man. I can't figure this shit out.
Yeah, so that's the only way this podcast ever ends is you got to get us an old age, or we're gonna get old age, so that's the thing. But yeah, so I'm better now. Yeah. I did tweet it when you mentioned that yesterday. You're like, you did tweet it out. I was like, man, I don't even remember that. Like that's how foggy that whole day was. Like at one point, I was still planning on trying to edit the podcast, and I was like, I can't even like think. And so then I like felt bad going, hey, Lowery, can you actually take over? Like, I don't know why.
I could do it later.
My brain was just mush. It was the fucking weirdest
thing. One thing that I found interesting was because like what you said was the pill that they gave you like broke that cycle of going over and over and over, and that's a really interesting thing.
Yeah,
so there's a pill.
Yeah, well, it made sense.
Out of your head.
The Razapam is the pill that gets you out of it. I had a panic attack way back at like right before the kids or my first or Drake was born.
So you're talking like 8 years ago.
Yeah, and that was I had smoked marijuana, and my sober neighbor came over while I was trying to like cool off outside because it affects me really hard. And I had a panic attack because she was sober and I was not, and I was trying to hide it, and then it happened. So, but the problem with that one was I stayed in a funk for 2 weeks until I finally went into the doctor. I stayed like at, I would say like 25%. Like my brain function was not there. I couldn't go outside. And lorazepam then was the pill that got me out of it. And I still have the pills but they're, they're 8 years old, so they're completely expired. But yeah, the nurse there said that what happens in a panic attack is you just keep going in a circle. And that's the same thing. Those thoughts were continuing to get me into a panic. I was thinking about the death thing and my kids, and then the podcast and my wife and what she's going to do and all this. And it just kept going. And he's like, this pill is going to cut that. It's not going to bring you back to zero, but it's going to make you stop doing this whole panic. And then you need to get on regular meds or figure out med stuff to get it all figured out. So, and it just happens out of nowhere. So that's the thing is, there was nothing that, made this happen. It just, I woke up.
No, like,
there wasn't like a dream. There wasn't any like, I mean, I always have a lot of thoughts in my brain. Like I have to take CBD to go to bed at night just because my brain just is always thinking like, the podcast, work, kids, everything. That's what it is being an adult, and with kids, your brain's always moving. So it might have been all that added together. I'm a very vocal person about what I say, so that I learned from a kid because I had issues with that, and that. That's an open book. I say everything that comes to my mind. So that isn't that necessarily. It's just, I don't know. It's fucking weird. Mental health. You just gotta be with it. Make sure you have good support system and all that stuff. So
and just like, I don't listen to myself here, but if you need help, go get help.
Right.
Like. That first time that you didn't even know really what you were dealing with, and you waited 2 weeks, it would have been better if you went and got help quicker. And this, going and getting help right away, I'm sure it was incredibly helpful.
You actually probably have that's a very good point there, because I think that 2 weeks made it so I had to take medication for 3 years for anxiety. I think that 2 weeks messed me up really bad. Right now, since this panic attack and I got medication right away, I think it didn't affect me as much. Like I'm not having to take any pills. I haven't taken anything since last Thursday. I do get flashes here and there. I'm like, ooh, all right, just breathe through it and all that. But it isn't like it was before. Like before, when that first panic attack happened, I needed to be on meds. And then I ran out right around when Zeke was born, my youngest. And I was like, I'm going to see what happens if I really need this. And I kind of weaned myself off of it, and I've been good since then. Okay. So, yeah. And you said you kind of had some some issue, like panic stuff, not panic, but just anxiety, a little bit of stuff last week. So it's a cousin thing, I get gout, then you get gout. You just share everything.
That's what it is.
That's why we're doing this podcast.
That's great. I'm just gonna cut myself off from everything at this point. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I don't think I'm a hypochondriac. I legit got gout. I'm not like, that might be gout. It's just like you. It's fucking. I can still look at my toes, and one is just has a fucking lump on the side of it, and the other is straight. That's just how it is.
Does it still hurt to touch at all, or you just?
I mean, not even close to what it was like. I think I've figured out how to manage it with pills and the uric, the stuff that AJ suggested to us, like uric acid pills. I take turmeric daily instead of just whenever there's a flare up. So I just do it daily.
Yeah.
And then cut out a ton of beef. I only drink now instead of multiple days a week.
Yeah. This is my drinking day at this point. So this is pretty much it.
I'm on again.
Yeah, I know.
So,
and actually, Andre, I think that's our Australia. It was from Australia. Is that the Kiwi doc? He said that those pills that I was talking about never expire. Yeah. So
I see what it was. I see what's going on now. Yeah.
So
nice of you to join us, Kiwi Doc.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wonder what time it is where he's at.
He's one of 3 people that contact with us.
whenever we talk
Twitter.
about meds and stuff.
Yeah, like Nick used to be one. Bundy, he was a Twitter person. Then he got on our Discord and he stopped interacting with us on Twitter. So we went down to only like 2 or 3 there.
We get our Discord members to retweet and like our stuff. So that's pretty much, they don't need to interact with us there. They just talk to us here. Or on Discord, I should say. Okay.
But that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kiwi Doc.
And that's actually why
you still have those pills. And
Yep.
if that happens again, you can.
Yep. And so that's part of the reason why I always kept those. I was like, just an emergency. 3 p.m. Oh, nice. Okay. So yeah. So just wanted to kind of get that out there. Like I said, open book with stuff. We are pretty open with everything. So it was kind of a crazy time. It was really good. You know, there's a lot of supports. You know, the Discord was really nice. Family and everybody. Yeah. You were very supportive.
I don't know what to do. But there's a lot of nice things in the comments here too, so appreciate y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
That's. I just kept on saying, "Don't worry about the cast. Don't worry about editing. Get yourself right and all that stuff." So
yeah. So tomorrow will be a good day. I mean, it's been a good day since like about Thursday or Friday last week. It's been fine. But talking with my doctor tomorrow will be golden. So all right, let's get off of the serious stuff. Let's get to the fun stuff. Why don't we? Oh, I built a new thing so we can do this. Let's first take a bean. Well, let's do it all together. I built this so it doesn't blow out on us again. Ready? Let me unmute you, Lowery, and boom.
Wiener.
Hey, Smith.
Always pays his debts.
All right, so that is the way that I can make it so that I don't blow out. So I should be fine now, right? There's no sound blowout, right? We're good?
You sound good to me.
All right.
Oh.
So let's do a bean first, just to start it off. Oh, I got a blue guy, which could be... This one's actually probably the easiest one. It could be blue, berry blue or toothpaste, which I'm fine with either. What do you know how to do it?
My eyes. Oh, fuck.
So you lift it, and then you just lift the whole container up, and then you drop it. Oh, I got.
Yeah, but it came with like 3 of them. Now it touched it with my toe.
Oh, even better.
This counts for 2, because I don't wash my feet.
Are you? You have a white one. Yours is dirty dishwasher or birthday cake. I think.
No. It's brown spots.
Oh, so I think this stink bug or toasted marshmallow. Ugh. You're trying to sniff it. All right. Cheers, Lowery. This is the first one. Thank you, Ibukaki.
All right. Here from Mr. Cocky. Mr. Cocky.
Mine's toothpaste. Mine is toothpaste. It's not bad.
I got marshmallow.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, I'm going to pour Malort.
Got flavored.
Now, I only have one more shot left in me after this one for Malort. So if I don't get Malort by next week, I have my mom's homemade moonshine.
We already talked about this. You don't.
I know on the Discord. On the Discord, right. My mom drank 2 jars of it. So I think
but I've heard you complain about her, so that could be a leading cause. Maybe. You ready?
This is how QAnon starts.
Oh no!
Maybe that is the leading thing. What if they
This one's from Josh D.
Thanks, Josh.
You appreciate you, friend.
Here we go. Even with the toothpaste in my mouth.
No, this is worse. I don't think that's a good idea to do.
Ugh.
Oh, that after. I mean, yours isn't sweet. Sweet before that bitter is awful. Oh my god.
This is such a gross ass shot. All right. Let's get the second bean out of the way so we can kind of. All right. So I got 2 choices here. The brown or the yellow, Lowery. Which one do you want me to take? Don't look at the chart. No. Which color?
What are you talking about?
Which one should I take?
Yellow.
Yellow could be.
I just looked. I mean.
Oh shit! It could be rotten egg. or buttered popcorn, which actually I think if I remember right, buttered popcorn isn't that good either.
Delicious. Well, I have the same one. So this could again be stink bug. It's likely a stink bug this time, right?
I hope it is, because I think the stink bug actually.
All right.
You'll smell it too. There we go.
All right. Cheers, hockey. Oh, that's stink bug. Oh,
mine's butter popcorn.
it's like in my mouth.
Yep, it's butter popcorn.
I could do it. I could tell it right away.
Yeah, butter popcorn doesn't taste that good. All right. It's still not bad. I haven't gotten to bed. Does it taste like you're eating like legs of a bug?
No, it's just like fills up the mouth though.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying not to like breathe it out my nose.
That's the funny thing about these the Bean Boozled stuff is if you're doing this with other people, some of these you can really just smell it on people's breath. I remember dog food. Anytime that anybody ate dog food, it stunk the whole room up. And centipede, really, like that's what I think stink bug would be, like very similar to. Because I remember eating the centipede and it felt like
that's two for jellies.
All right, so we'll get the next two after the next shot, or before and after the next shot.
All right.
Ibukaki said he's in your mouth, Lowery. You're not that big, Ibukaki. You can't fill that up.
You didn't say anything about filling it up.
You said about filling your mouth up.
Occupying space.
Okay. I don't think there's anything. Is there anything else we wanted to get to? Tags. Let's get to it so we don't do 2 hours. What are we even at? We're at 23. So that's about right.
23.
All right. So you guys can support the show by becoming a patron by our 3 new patrons this week. Count it, 3. I don't know. Have we had 3?
Did you write them down?
Yes, I did. We have Rick Race, which Rick Race was our stumper last week. He felt like he would join because he
felt bad. He wants to pay for his card. Exactly. That takes at least 3 months of you being a patron. Then you're good to go again if you wish.
So Rick Race joined being a patron, and I think on the Discord too. So then we got the Fat Josh, not just Fat Josh. Yep. It's the Fat Josh. And then Chemical Code as our 3 new patrons.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
You can donate or become a patron just like these guys. You guys can become patrons. $1 or more gets you into the Discord. Get you playing games like a game we just played last night. It was kind of a debacle at the end. But we played
technical debacle.
It was a Discord game. Well, it wasn't even just you that it happened. It was like all of it combined together. So Lowery's computer like that crashed, but it just the audio, the video went away. He came back. Then he had no sound. He couldn't hear us. We couldn't hear him. So it was all miming. So the last like 10 minutes or 15 minutes is all of us trying to figure out what's going on. And then
it was impressive.
Then Lowery gets his audio back, and almost instantaneously Ryan's phone, which is like mine, it's the camera and everything, his phone died. So he lost video, he lost audio, and it was right at the end of the game.
We just called the game.
Yeah. Well, then we messaged, I was like, can you kill Lowery? Whatever. I'm not going to give the spoilers, but check out that video. That is some Discord games that you can play. So that if you become a patron, you can play games with us. It's mainly we're just doing with the Discord folk. $5 or more gets you proxies each month. Higher you go on the tiers, the foil proxies you can get, which those are the ones I would say to get unless you really want all the proxies. Like if you just want to have a lot of them for your decks, which I totally get that as well. So that's the financial way to support the show. The other financial way to support the show is to do what people are doing here. Watch us live on YouTube and donate. Make us do stuff. I mean, if you just don't want to just donate and give us money, then make us do things. Give us tasks. Make us take shots. Make us take beans. And anytime that we are live, there will be that option to donate. So if you want to support us that way, we just don't, we always are going to do tricks for you, basically. For now.
Yeah. We're good boys.
Yeah. So
I mean, you could donate and say, don't worry about it, guys.
You don't have to do anything. I just love you.
Yeah, that's good too. Nobody has to We don't have to take shit.
Wait, why did it not show up on my thing?
Who's
So
that?
it's another $5.
Now we get new people to give. Is that
Black Horizon? That's one of our new guys.
Oh, that is. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But it didn't show up on my my thing here. It just showed up on there. You're writing it down. So it's a $5. So we got 5 more beans. Man, we got a lot of beans this episode. So just like that, you guys can donate, and that is another way to support the show because that does help. Even though we are doing all this fun stuff, it is entertaining and it does support us for all our equipment, all the things we do, all the box openings, everything that we're doing, giveaways, and all that. It has to come from somewhere, and it comes from you guys by doing that. So the other
only
way,
because we did it for the first 3 years.
yes, this is
We're
payback.
still in the hole. All right, that's
Well, after this month, we're finally gonna break even. We're gonna be caught up from SmithCon, which was back in June. So
we spent a couple thousand.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Mostly on pizza.
Yeah, it was a shit ton of pizza, and we had like 5 pizzas left over each. Like it was like, here, Ibukaki, you take 5. Lowery, you take 5. I take 5. Okay, so the free way to support the show, if you don't want to donate there, that's totally fine. Just subscribe. We're getting so close to 1,000. We need 1,000 subs is our big goal. Once we get there, once we get close, we'll start announcing what our big prize is going to be. So if you just want to support the show, the free way is just subscribe.
Know what it is.
Yeah. What are you talking about? A penis size now? What is your fingers?
No,
is that what this is?
The big surprise. It's a big surprise to us too. That's all I'm saying.
Because we don't know what it is. Yes.
No,
right.
we're not. It's still going to take like a year to get like 150 more people.
Well, we're close, dude. We've gained
I know,
leaps and bounds, buddy. Okay, so YouTube, that's where you can see all of our stuff. That's why you should subscribe, because not only do we have the podcast live, we also talked about, we did the Discord games. Those are live. Curated MTG, which was today and on Fridays. What was your Curated MTG, Mr. Lowery?
I knew you were going to ask, so I checked while you were talking. But Flameblade Angel, which is a 6 mana red angel, and whenever you are dealt damage by a source that an opponent controls, the angel deals 1 damage to that opponent or an opponent, but whatever. So basically, if they block your creatures, it deals 1 damage to them for each creature. If they attack and you block, it deals 1 damage to their creature. They try and kill your planeswalker, each source. If they do direct damage, it's 1 to them. It's a really, really cool card.
What deck are you like playing it in? What because normally this triggers you by none. Normally it's like
Not
you're
currently.
building a deck and you're like, here's a card and here's a card. Because Wrench, I was accusing you last night when we were playing, is like, this just feels like curated MTG right now. Lowry's just playing all his curated cards. You did play one at least, I know, from a curated video, but that was it was pretty fun.
I've been doing this for like a year and a half almost. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm just getting lucky that I'm not overlapping at this point.
You did
I'm
one
just
time
going,
where you're like,
I've
hey,
thought about this card.
I'm doing this
ton
one,
of times,
and you like uploaded it and everything, and then I went to make the thumbnail, and then I was like,
yeah, it was worship.
wait, I already made the thumbnail. I was like, Lowery, you already did that one. You should have seen. We should have posted it anyways to see if it would beat your old one. You know, like
the original one.
Yeah,
That's a good point, because it was pre TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, so the biggest thing on the
cool card. Go
curateds,
check it out.
the curateds and the shorts. Anytime we post a short, anything that's a minute or less, biggest thing you guys can do is watch those videos and give it a like. That's how you guys make it go viral. CommanderSmiths viral. That's how you get that to do that. We also have Spotlight deck. I'll be doing Spotlight this week. I'm working on braids.
Spotlight deck.
Yep, Spotlight deck. I think I'm going to do it on Thursday. I know I mentioned this on-air production stuff. I think there's just so much going on that I think Thursday's better for me than tomorrow. So that's what's happening Thursday. I'll be working on that deck. That's where we're just kind of building decks, and you guys can join us live there as well. We do box openings. We do battle boxes. There's so many videos that we do throughout basically a week span or a month span. So the biggest thing you guys can do is subscribe. And then the other way you guys can interact with us is check us out on Discord Ultralight, which is also known as Twitter. That's where we post almost everything that we do for videos wise. Messages wise, you might as well join the Discord. If you want to chat with us and stuff, that's better to do there. We don't post as much on Twitter chatting wise. We do when we get in a good chat, we'll kind of That's why it's ultralight, because sometimes we chat and sometimes most of the time we don't. So, but you can direct message us there, or you can direct message us at gmail.com, and that is the best way you can send suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant.
My beer has stink bug taste in it. I'm not happy. This is a good beer. It's called Sustained Illusion. Citra and Enigma hops, New England IPA style, 6.5 ABV. It's from Elm Creek Brewing Company. Super tasty.
And I mentioned this one last week, but I don't know if I showed it. But it was the change. Yeah, I did show it, the Changeling one, and I did post this one on Discord. It's a white stout with coffee and chocolate. So this was that North Dakota beer. That is the next one I'm going after. I'm still finishing up the one that I started with. So, okay. So if you guys don't know, oh, you know what? I played the wrong one. It should have been. I know what the card is. I just don't know the name. Damn it! I got to remember to do that, because then
it's
all right. If you guys don't know how this game works, I am going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowery is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. This week's stumper is Joe Flavin. And our...
Flavin!
Where's my wah wah wah? I want to hit the wah 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 button really quick. Wah wah wah. If the card that is up for grabs this week is Joda the Unifier in foil. This is week number 1, round number 13 or 14. I think it's what did I say last week was? Last week 14? Was round 13. So this is round 14. That's one thing I didn't write down. Round 14. Every 4 weeks that Lowery doesn't get stumped, we'll add a card to the ante. The card has to be in at least 5,000 EDH rec decks, and it needs to have flavor text. And here we go. Oh, I've eliminated the chat, so Lowery can't see the chat, but the chat can also guess. Of course, Jackal has already been guessed. I don't see Lightning Bolt yet, so I'm a little disappointed, guys. All right, here we go. Some convictions are so strong that the world must break to accommodate them. Fuck, my video did that fun thing again. So I'm gonna not even be able to see. You might even be gone. We'll see here in a second when everything comes back.
I'm here. I can hear it. Oh, whoa.
Yep, that's the saying. Everything's doing its fun thing. It like gets extra bright when it comes back too. It's like, I don't know why it does it.
Some convictions are so strong that it breaks the world.
That the world must break to accommodate them.
World must break to accommodate them. That is a pretty good flavor text. Okay, what I would say that I feel like this could be like a red flavor, because like world breaking, chaos, super like going over the top powerful, like that's where like black, something like that would be. It could be green, but black would be something like necromancer. Blue doesn't really break, and white kind of breaks, but they're a lot nicer about it. So I don't. It could be red or green. Is this card red and or green color identity?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
You know what's funny is Andre might actually already have it. He hasn't said what it is, but he is on the right track. Andre, if you know what it is, speak it. Show him that you got it.
Who did?
Andre.
Boy, Kiwi Doc?
Was it the same one? Andre Bonnie. Was that the same scrolling up? Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I mean, he's a doctor, so he's smart, so that makes sense. I'm just a guy guessing shit. So it's not red and or green.
Yes, Andre got it. He got it.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Now the pressure's on.
Yeah. It's interesting how he got it, though. I'll explain that later.
That could be. So it's not red and or green. That means it could be white or black. I'll take the first clue, please.
The art features a soldier with a sword in the ground and an explosion behind him.
Okay, well, that sword in the ground and an explosion behind him. So does this card have white color identity?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so it's a soldier with a sword in the ground, an explosion in the background. It is at least white.
Renshai, you are correct. It has.
I'll take a second clue, please.
Okay, I was pouring my beer, you son of a bitch. I'm just kidding. There is only one thing that this is safe from. Or wait, there is only one thing that is safe from this destruction. Well, I guess there would be two. Let me say, there is two things that are safe. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, all right, never mind. There's two things that it's safe from, not just one. Damn it.
Okay.
That's my.
I mean, how many things can you destroy? So it destroys half the things. That's okay. Hold on. Is one of them that is safe land?
Wrong.
It gets land? I have two wrong so far?
Mm-hmm.
So it hits land. It's white. That should be a huge tell. God. You people that know that right off the bat, assholes. This isn't over 5,000 decks? Assholes.
If you want the next clue, you'll hear how many decks it's actually in.
No. Give me a second. I gotta think about this. So it's in over 5,000 decks. It's white-ish. I mean, but it's not red. I would have thought that it could have been like white-red. Very interesting. So this is an instant or sorcery. Not a question.
Yeah, you're correct, Renshai, about what you were saying there.
Likely a sorcery. Yeah. Is this a sorcery?
Hello, boobies.
Okay. So it's a white sorcery with
that gets land.
Soldier, sword, explosion, hits lands. It wouldn't hit planeswalkers. This puts it at an older card. It hits lands. What? So there's like Cataclysm, which is not right. That is let's hits lands. Hold on, maybe I'm thinking about this differently. Like it. Because I was thinking, I went right to thinking it was like a Wrath style card, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Okay. And it's a sorcery, right? I said it was a sorcery. It's a sorcery. It's white, potentially more colors. So it does not get rid of. It does not remove planeswalkers.
Is that what you're asking? Does it get rid?
No, I'm saying it doesn't get rid of planeswalkers.
Wrong.
3 wrong. This is why we need your guys' donations, because Lowery just keeps getting things wrong, and then we just give away stuff. Just kidding.
Okay, let's hear that third clue.
This card is in 34,000 EDH rec decks.
Oh my god.
It is most seen in Liza Shroud of Dusk, and was
I
first
don't even know what that is.
was first printed in Apocalypse.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. What was the first clue?
The art features a soldier with a sword.
The
and
second clue then.
There
Second
is only two things that this is safe, or two things that is safe from this destruction. And that kind of throws it off.
Oh.
I worded it weird.
No, no, I'm getting there now. Oh, how many wrong
Three.
guesses do I have?
3.
I have 3. Are you sure?
Yeah. Because you guessed,
Red and green.
yeah,
Lands.
yeah,
Walkers.
yeah.
Okay. It's white. It's a sorcery.
If it gives you any hint, Liza is a white and black commander. That's what that clue is supposed to help you with a little bit, but it doesn't matter because it fits white. You already got white. It's funny because I try to pick a commander that you actually would know, so that's just to give like the extra hint. And actually, I try to pick the one with the most decks, either most decks or percentage-wise. And I have no more clues to give you.
I think that just gave it away though. I'm gonna feel kind of bad because I think I got this. It's Vindicate.
Hello, boobies.
You got what game? Because I told you it was white and because I said white and
black.
black. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the point of the commander color, is to give you the idea. So this is actually the DCI version of it. So the reason Andre got it so quick is he said he played a lot of Modern in the past, so he saw this one as a judge. He got this one as a judge promo back in the day. So you did get this one before, but remember you got this one wrong.
But this wasn't Modern legal up until like last summer with Modern Horizons 2.
I don't know. This is what I'm just Andre, he's calling you out even though you got it right away.
New Zealand.
And then what was the other part? So where I was thinking,
hold on, what did you mean by number, like the second clue then?
Yeah,
what are the two things? Is that indestructible and like Shroud?
And no, what I was gonna say was protection from colors, protection from white or black. So that's originally had it as one thing.
But then like also like Shroud,
I know,
hexproof.
Right. I mean, I guess it kind of. My brain was just thinking, it says destroy target permanent. I was like, it doesn't have exile, so indestructible. And then as I like read it out loud, I was like, oh yeah, protection. And then I was like, oh shit, like that clue sucks because I didn't want to.
That clue was rough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit that one.
So I don't feel bad
like
giving you a
one.
little extra on this one because I didn't. My bad.
I got it. Oh, I'm sorry. That was.
Yeah.
I don't feel good or bad about that one, but you didn't get it.
You can send your suggestions in to our email. I will try not to fuck up the clues like I did there. God, my brain was just
not everybody is Pat Sajak.
My brain was on
fine.
indestructible. Like, and then as I read it, I was like, well, I guess you're protection from. But I think that's maybe what I was thinking is like normally. Yeah, I guess Shroud and Hexproof would have been fine there too. Fuck.
But yeah, you're right. Like,
would have, because protection from is normally like your creatures gain protection from this color, or it's not like an ability. I was more thinking like indestructible and tried to make it a little coded So you had to like think about it because you went immediately to where I wanted you to go was to like a thing. Like you're like lands and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I wanted you to do. And then try to bring you back.
That's solid misdirection.
Yeah. So, all right. So, if you guys get stumped, well, you don't have to send us a Vindicate. Well, they're not that much. You can send us a Vindicate if you like, Joe Flavin. If you do, it will make the wall over there. You can see behind me that naked dragon back there and our GIF of the boob lady there. It's for everybody that sends in their stuff. We put it up on the wall. Lowery will eventually maybe put it up on his wall. Maybe.
What do you mean?
Right behind you. We talk about it all the time.
For what? Oh,
cards.
It's right over there, just off camera.
Oh,
just off camera. Look, this is my usable stuff over here. And then I just have like,
well, you have this blank wall that's right behind you. It's like perfect for your like.
This is not. What do you mean?
Just put it right there. It's beautiful.
I've never had my wife in this closet, and she's the one that hangs stuff around here. That's
all you need is it does. All you need is like the little like sticky tape.
Yes, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Bring my wife in my closet.
Hey, remember the eBay ka-ching sound that was my little story like 6, 7, 8 months ago. Ka-ching, ka-ching. All right. Okay, so now we get into we don't have a sounder. Lowery, hit the button, please.
Here you go, AJ.
I don't want relationship. I just want bang, bang, bang. I don't want to know your name. I just want bang, bang, bang.
Oh, but maybe we should be doing our shot in beans because we have 10 beans. We have 8 more beans to go.
Is that going to be just our segue?
Oh, hang on a second. Let me just do this.
Let's do a bean. Let's do a bean. We have 10/8 now. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Always pays his debts.
All right. That's our. Let's do the bean.
Regular one. Regular shot.
And a bean.
All right. I got a bean ready. It's pinkish.
Yeah, that's what mine is too.
Ooh.
It could be barf or peach. Oh, great.
I know which one I'm hoping for. Regular shot. You got that?
Oh, I'll get that after we do the bean.
Oh. That looks orange.
Well, that's
pink.
Oh, yours is old Band-Aid or pomegranate. Oh no, yours.
That's a bonus right there.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I think it's.
I can't tell.
Bad, whatever it is.
Mine's peach. How am I hitting all the good ones? All right, good. All right, I'll take it.
It's not dead fish. I mean, it could be barf.
If it's barf and you're handling it that way, that's pretty impressive.
It's weird. I don't like it. It's not dead fish though, for sure not. God,
I do have to say,
stink.
Josh, he said, I'm going to have to watch or tune in live more often. Just listening to the podcast doesn't do getting to watch Lowery perform mental gymnastics justice. LMFAO, not LMAO.
LMFAO. All right,
Party rock anthem.
That bean was from hockey. Appreciate you as
that's
always.
Number 3 from hockey. All right. Okay. All right. Let's do, mine's a Goldschlager.
Hockey. Mine is a black rum.
Ooh.
Cheers. And this one is going to Moldy Ace.
There
we go.
See, I can take Goldschlager. Goldschlager's good.
Still don't want to.
All right, another bean because we have 10 of them. This will be number 4. I got a red one.
This will be number 4.
So this one's either old Band-Aid, bandage, or pomegranate.
All right. Oh. This might be the other pink version. Oh. I don't know what's going on. I hate this. All right, mine is pink again. I think this is the gross kind, though.
Well, you don't know. They look the same.
Yeah, this is either. Well, I think this is. I don't know. might need a new prescription. These are all small pictures. All right, ready? Mr. Hockey, appreciate you.
Oh, there's a fucking Band-Aid. There it is. Oh, it tastes like what that, like the what a Band-Aid would smell like. Not after it's used, but like the little rubber or whatever. Not rubber. Ugh.
Like,
how do they even like
open
figure out the
MTG
damn
pack.
smell, like the taste? Like they're just like, all right, I have a bunch of taste testers in here. This is we're gonna add those little flavor to it. Okay, what does that taste like? A fucking Band-Aid. I'm kind of impressed.
I'm going to assume that mine was peach there. I didn't taste anything. It's all dead inside now. That's except for when it's bad. Like when it's good, it's just not strong enough. Is that what's going on?
It's a Band-Aid. What?
Well, for you, not for me.
No, the Black Horizon saying, did I say Band-Aid? Well, it says bandage,
Yeah,
but Band-Aid.
Yeah.
That's a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid is a version. Like,
That's-
okay, let's just enticing people into this a little bit. The bad versions of what we could get is liver and onions, old bandage, old
knob, a bandage.
There's rotten egg, toothpaste, which sounds
That's
delicious.
the blue one.
I
If you
have no
get blue,
problem
you
with
have
that.
a win. Both.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Barf,
Stink
stink
bug.
booger.
Booger, not booger, just booger.
Well, Halloween's coming up. We're almost in October here. It's booger. Then there's dirty dishwater, stinky socks, and dead fish. Dead fish absolutely sounds like the worst one.
Yeah, liver and onions might not be good.
Jesus. Dead fish.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll see.
Dead fish.
All right, so we've had
we'll
4.
eventually run into that, but I hope to God I never do. Like, I'd quit.
We somehow have to take 6 in a segment, 2 segments.
we can have a rollover. We're good. We're gonna move over to Black Horizon next.
Okay. Well, no, we have one more for Ibukaki.
Yeah, he can roll over.
What if he doesn't want to?
It doesn't matter what he wants.
Yeah, the
It's not
popcorn
his show.
The popcorn one wasn't that good. Like there's a couple that aren't
Popcorn's
good.
fine.
No, it wasn't. Like I had that one. I didn't have rotten egg.
Did you get one of those like little kernels stuck on the back of your throat?
But
Then you're fine. Then you're fine. That's the worst part of buttered popcorn. How do you
well,
not
I'm just saying, like that's the two
Yeah,
like
rotten egg could be real bad.
rotten egg and buttered popcorn are like the worst. Old one-eye flavor.
I'm glad that at least Hockey laughed at that joke last week. So, one eye. All right, what are we doing?
Oh yeah, let me get over to that. We're not repaying the debts. We are on card preview. All right, here we go. Okay,
I'll mark off. All right,
so
Lonely Ace, appreciate you.
We did our fun thing of Blueprint last week. Well, we talked about our basic lands, and we told you needed 35 to 38 typically for a deck. Now we're going to break down your lands for each of these decks, or for your decks.
Here's the thing that I've noticed is that we get more and more in our Discord that are anti-land. We are.
I know.
And it is.
That's probably the top suggestion when I'm doing Spotlight is to cut lands.
Yep.
Hey, what did Quinn say he had in his deck last night?
28. He had 28 in his Hydra deck with Savant.
He had 28. Well, I mean, it makes sense why he only had like 4 at the end.
Yeah.
And why exiling all of our non-land permanents really screwed him over.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be removal. That's why you go like, either you go in like, okay, I'm gonna really short myself lands, but I can burst out, like be crazy. But if one person has removal, I'm done.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you should add more lands.
Yeah.
If that keeps on happening to you. Wink, wink, Quinn.
Oh man.
Because he said at the end of the game he's going to cut 5. And so
just to spite you, though.
I guess you're going to show me. Jesus only runs like 30 lands, but he runs pretty high powered decks. And then there's Renshai, who just does it just like make me mad. That's fine.
He
I don't
does,
know if he doesn't run that few lands. It's a bit for him.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's Renshire's bit. It's to piss the CommanderSmiths off and give us shit. That's also
run more
Ibakaki's
lands.
bit. Okay,
Don't cut your lands.
Don't cut your lands. And 35 to 38. This is what we're saying. We said this.
Stick to your morals.
To the blueprint last week. I'll have a better visual of this. I just didn't have time to get it all done, but this is what we're dealing with here. So if you're on the live feed, you can see I will tweet out a card, like it's a checklist card that will have. God,
I need to get myself like one of those little like floss picks and get the shit out of like the bad jelly beans in the teeth is so.
Well, I just keep tasting Band-Aid. Like it's like rubber. It's just ugh. Okay, so 35 to 38 total lands per deck is kind of what we're looking at. I mean, your decks could vary depending on what your deck is all doing. You may need more, you may need less. We talked about that last week. I'm typically between that 36 to 37. I do have a couple that have 35, but that's just because have green in it or they're.
And here's one thing that I've seen some people on Twitter, and they might be creators. It's been a while since I've been on Twitter because it's a fucking
Discord ultralight.
I don't go there anymore.
I only go there really for spoilers.
Enough. Like
I go there for
I'll
spoilers.
watch TikTok all day because they incentivize me with some views. But Twitter, there is just shit there. I get nothing. So there's no dopamine at all.
You know, the only time we get Twitter followers is when we do a giveaway, and then it like goes up like 20 or 30,
and it's like,
and then it decreases after we do the giveaway, and then we gain like 15, and then every time we do a giveaway, it goes up and down, and eventually, you know, we'll have a decent Twitter.
Yeah.
Who cares? Don't follow us on Twitter. Go to YouTube.
So one thing too, like when you're discussing this kind of thing, like, oh, let's go back to the Twitter thing. Some things that I've seen is like people go like get close to 50 when it comes to something dealing with mana in your deck. So half your deck could potentially
50?
be mana involved.
Oh,
okay. If we're going 38 plus your ramp.
Oh,
and if you're in between that 45 to 50, that's probably where you want to be. So if you're down in the 30 range for land, you should be closer to 20 in your ramp.
Yeah.
And get like powerful, you know, just have varied amount of ramp there. But if you're around 50 when it comes to mana cards, land, ramp involved, that'll help you move your deck along. That's the general thing that I've seen, and I don't think it's totally wrong,
right?
Because we say roughly, you know, I've been sticking to like 15, and I'm 38 or 36 to 38 in land. That's roughly 50. I don't think it's too far off.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I would say about that, if you went lower on the total land, and then went higher on the mono rocks and everything like that, it's almost, it feels like the same thing when you play, we've talked about this before too, too little basics, where you will get burnt by somebody destroying all your non-basics, and like that wave, that green,
right,
whatever that spell is, to destroy all your basic or destroy all lands or non-basics and go search for land, or is it what is it? Is it destroy all lands and go search for basics to replace them, or is it non-basics?
Yeah, there's Wave of Vitriol, and
that's the one. Yeah, that you
buy the ashes or something. I did a curated for it a couple weeks ago, but there are plenty
good for you.
I ran it because you weren't running basics or Path to Exile.
It taught me a lesson. It totally taught me a lesson, dude. It did. Because because you destroyed my shit, and I was like, well, I can't go search for anything.
But Andre brought up, Kiwi Doc brought up a really good point. Like he's saying, running more rocks leaves you vulnerable.
Yes.
Right.
So that's what I was
kind of what I was talking about with Quinn. Quinn ramps out great.
Yeah.
And he has crazy ass starts. And it's very similar to like my Ilysian deck. It depends on what your deck is doing. And Ilysian can have these blazing fast starts And if anybody has any mass removal that's going to fuck with my shit,
We saw
I'm kind
that
of done.
Yeah, you saw that in that
And if you don't,
Discord
I'm
game,
running you
the first
over.
one. Yeah, you were done the first game, and then you weren't the second because no one had mass removal in that one. Yeah. So,
And running enough lands allows you to consistently get your land drops. It allows you to have, like, if somebody's like, everybody discards a card, you're like, well, I have extra land. That's fine. I know I can draw into more land. I don't have to savor that. That's a very minor thing, but it's a thing. And it's kind of what I like to do. So if you're running cards that like draw a discard or discard draw, and you know that you have plenty of land in your deck, you can easily, you don't have to like agonize over what you're getting in your hand. You can just be like, I can ditch this land. I'm going to eventually draw another one.
right.
But if you're running 30, you're kind of going like, I need this land.
Right. It becomes
And
more...
so I might not draw into another land for a couple of turns. So I better, and that's why I always suggest running more land. 40 gets to be a little bit much.
Yeah.
And you need to, and we'll get into why, but 36 to 38 seems to be pretty, that works for me.
I have 35 to 38 on here, Lowery.
That's fine. That's fine. You could do whatever. If there's, I think 35 to 38, I'm not going to sit there and be like, add a land. I'm not going to yell at you to say add a land.
You used to yell at me. You used to sit me down and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right. And I was right.
No,
and I'm right with
the other
Quinn.
thing is you
Quinn
started
needs to add
going
more
down
land.
and I started going up with land. So we met in the middle. We've never let them touch. It's
okay, but here's the other thing too, is like when we're making this blueprint and we're just like, well, what about this? And what about this? Like right now, I think what we did was we focused on 2 color decks because that seems to be, that's like kind of the in the middle. You have a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 color decks. And so 2's in the middle, right?
Right.
4 and 5 color decks are less likely to happen.
There isn't as many 4 per se, like, and then 5 is very limited too. So, but I would say we've kind of
like their own thing.
We've gotten close to encompassing all of that, and then there's we'll talk about it once we get to each little category here. Maybe we should get to it.
We can do it.
All right. Basics though, we basically are saying 12 basics. That's what you need for every single deck, 1 to 5. I haven't built no, I do not currently have a 5-color deck. Joda, our giveaway for Stump the Savant, was one that I was potentially going to make. I have 2 before that, which Braids is later this week, whatever. I'm a symmetrical type of player, like person, not player, just person in general. And so I guess where would you go with the 5-color? Have you built a 5-color lately? Because the 1 color, I'm building Braids. I have 12 basic swamps. 2-color, I'll go 6 and 6. Typically, unless one's really heavy on one color than the other. 3-color, I go 4, 4, 4. 4-color, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then 5, I guess 2 of each, and then whatever you're the heaviest in, like green, probably you'd want to get a little bit more because typically you're running more of your ramp and stuff through that. But have you built a 5 in a while, 5-color deck?
So I built the 5-color Sisei Street Fighter deck.
That's right. Yep.
And I leaned into green. So if I'm not willing to devote the amount of resources to the land base in a 5-color deck, because I don't do it a whole ton anyway, so I don't want it to suck up all my proxies. Because a 5-color deck probably just runs like 10 fetches, 10 duels mixed in with dual shocks, whatever you want to be fetchable with, and then fill it in with some basics.
Yeah. You don't want to get screwed over by not having basics in there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from experience.
Yeah. Blood Moon fucks you.
Yeah, you're dead.
Like it's a real card. Back to Basics is a real card. Like these things can really just shut you down. And maybe Path to Exile doesn't really matter to you, but like Citadel the Wreckage would screw you. Winds of Abandon is huge. It's a great card. You should be running it more.
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Not you. No,
I was like,
listeners.
I
I don't know how
play
to
Winds of
differentiate
Abandon.
between you and listeners.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
know
Now
me
that
and
we're
you
live,
both really like
now
it.
that we're live, it's like we're talking to each other and also other people that are.
Yeah. And so there's you,
Yeah,
and there's you, Adam. So five is kind of like work with what you got, but I don't fault people for having not perfect mana bases when you're playing 5 colors, because it is a lot of work and it is a lot of resources for what you potentially have.
Mhm.
And so like sometimes a big reason why my Kenrith deck, which is 5 color, it's an anti-landfall deck, even though I ramp a whole ton in there because I can gain life and I want to screw with people that are worrying about their land base and everything. And I run a bunch of cards that are based off of basics. And so I think I run 16 instead of 12 in there.
So
And it's heavy green, and there's a little bit of red, like a splash of red, and then it's a bunch, black, blue, white, a lot of more white and green. But it took me a while to get there too, because you kind of gotta like sometimes you gotta figure out what the deck needs.
right.
Right. And going with the amount of stuff, one thing that we talked about a bunch of was just like, well, technically this, I don't run 36 to 38 if I'm building an elf deck, right? I need like 2 or 3 land, and I can just ramp with the other elves and you're just building and going crazy. Like, that's fine. Like, if you, that's what I'm saying is if you have an elf deck, you don't need that much land, but
Right.
you need to adjust. And this being a blueprint is just, this is base model,
And then
where the range you want to be in, and then if something needs to be more specific, you move it to where it needs to be.
right. And that's the similar thing that we talked about with the blueprint for building the deck. Like you adjust, like we put 0 to whatever for recursion. Well, if your deck is based off of bringing stuff from your graveyard, like you have more of that, or if your deck needs this and that, but this is just a base. Like every deck you start with this, adjust your numbers accordingly of what colors you're playing or how many colors you're playing. So 12 felt like a good number. Yeah.
And that's what I run. Like you're saying, I go 6 and 6 for 2 color, 4 4 4 for 3 color. Monocolor, it's just kind of like filled in.
Yeah.
I want 12, and then it generally is around 20.
You want 12 and it's around 20. You end up getting 20.
It's that starting with point. It's going, okay, I'm going to have at least 12 basics in here. I'm going to go through and see what utility cards fit in here, see what kind of.
I'll say my Braids deck, it has 12. Like I was able to fit all this
basics?
other stuff. Yep, 12 basics,
Nice.
and then everything else is utility land stuff. So, okay, so I would say we're kind of getting to the next, like, I think we have this in order too of like importance. So you start with your basics, like you just said, you start with your basics and then you fill in accordingly.
Yeah.
So then you go to your fetches because you need the fetches. And we kind of were talking about this on when we were chatting, texting and everything. This is the first monocolored deck where I started putting a lot of fetches in. My Magda deck and Perforos are both red decks, so I went with the Blood Moon hate, kind of stuff. So I played a lot more basics than I probably should. And so this is the first time I put 5 fetches in there. And so I looked at all my 2-color decks are 5, at least in the last like year and a half of building decks.
Okay.
They've all had 5 fetches. It's normally 3, like 1 of the regular, that fits with the color, 2 off
the
color,
original, the good,
Prismatic Vista and Fabled Passage. So I get my 5 in there, but 5 to 7 is probably a good number for all around me. Do you think you would go more if you get higher in that 4 to 5 color range, or you still think that the 7 fits in there as well?
And this is the point. Like, I think 5 to 7 fetches, I think that's good for every and any deck. Like, that's your base model. For me, what I do specifically is I like about 6 fetches. I like 3, like you were saying, original off-color fetches, whatever's going to work. And then I go the 2 that you just said, Fabled Passage and Vista. And then I add in Ash Barrens. I like that card a lot.
Yeah,
it's just a cycling to go and put a basic land into your hand. I consider that a fetch. It's a land that goes into your graveyard that you're able to mess around with a little bit. It is a shuffle effect. It's a little bit of a thinning effect. And 6 for me seems to be
pretty good.
A really a solid way of like, for some reason I'm not drawing enough cards, and then I'm also getting enough lands. Like it's where I'm happy with it.
And you're
and I think
typically
5 to 7 is a good spot. Like, and it depends on what your budget is, but I'd still I ran Terramorphic Expanse and the other
Evolving
one,
Wilds.
Evolving Wilds, for years up until Vista was printed. And then I was like, you know what? I'll play those two over it, like just up it a notch.
When we say all this, by the way, we play proxies. We own these cards. And if you're new to like how our style works, is we own the cards. So it sounds really ridiculous. We're like, yeah, just play 3 fetches in every deck, and you play a Vista and you play a Fabled. Oh shit, that's like $300, $200 whatever dollars at that point. No, we're playing proxies because we own the cards. We own one at least of each one of those, and then we play proxies. And it's just to properly do your
and that's what I'm saying. Like, even if I didn't own the original fetches, I'd still run Expanse. I'd go and find, there's the new ones from New Capenna that like come into play. Sack, go and find a basic land. There's Shards of Alara fetches. There are the Mirage fetches. There are fetches available on a budget, and I highly suggest, even if they're slow, I would say they're better than come into play tapped lands, even though they come into play tapped. They are, what's in the box? It could be a boat, but
I'll take the mystery box. I'll take the mystery box.
Yeah. That's what it is, but
it could even be a boat.
What you need.
Right. It does seem.
I highly suggest.
And that's one thing I do want to mention again, is that when we were texting about this, is I had to wrap my head around fetches. Like for the longest time, I didn't have all the fetches until probably about 5 years ago.
Oh, good for you.
And playing that in monocolor, I'm like, well, why am I fetching to go get? Why not just put a basic in that place? But the thing is it helps you go get that, like, instead of having you hit your utility land, and it helps. And the thinning out does not matter, but it kind of does a little bit, and it gives you a shuffle effect. I mean, we do both of us play Sensei's Top in every single deck, and sometimes you need that thing to shuffle the top of your deck, and that does matter. Like, you do plan your hand out, and you're like, well, I looked at the top 3. Oh, look, I have this fetch. Now I'm going to play this instead of my other basic, and I'm going to go search for this to shuffle because I don't like the top 3 that are sitting there. There's a lot of benefits to having the fetch land. And so that was something that I had to learn. And so this is, I would say, probably my first deck where I've put 5 fetches in a monocolored deck. And I don't build very many monocolored. And so that's kind of new territory for me. I did look back on my other decks, and there is still fetches, but it was like 1 or 2. And so now it's just, it's becoming more of a thing. And so I think people need to wrap their head around that. That's why fetches are so expensive, because it's not because it's all in the other formats. They are really good in all the other formats, but they're also fantastic in Commander, and you should be using them in every single deck that you play.
It's the thing that I would say, because like it's not a liability in a monocolored deck. And what I mean by like that is, you don't need Command Tower, even though you can say Command Tower belongs in every Commander deck. It should not be in a monocolored deck. It should just be a basic land, because that opens it up to potential like destruction on a lot. Like, it's hard to destroy a basic land, right? Unless it's mass or whatever. But if a fetch land is not quite that, if you're in a meta that is running tap lands like ETB tapped, Gain a Life, Scry, stuff like that, like the budget fetches are perfect. Run them. I promise you, you'll see a slight improvement.
You're about to say significant, and then you would slight.
Look, coming into play tapped is really, really rough. But it's still better than a tapped land.
And that 1 life does not matter. And 1 life does not matter.
It does not matter. It does not matter.
I mean, last night it would have mattered if you played 1 more fetch.
I hung around one a bunch of times.
Yeah, you did.
And gained 4 life here, 4 life there. And then kill myself
Sometimes
slowly.
1 life matters, but you wouldn't have used your ancient tomb.
Spoiler, I kind of won. That's fine.
Check out the video. It was a pretty good comeback. Okay. All right. So I would say the next 2 categories are more for what Lowery just mentioned is you're not playing Command Tower, not playing that. These are for more of your 2 to 5 color decks. These are your ones where your fetchable lands and your non-fetchable lands, which you would consider those as your like Command Tower, your 5, like any of that stuff. I have like Reflecting Pool. You have the new one, Plaza of Heroes, one of our giveaways from last week. Any of those things fit in here. So let's first talk about the fetchable lands. So we're saying 4 to 8 fetchable lands. So in my case, what I typically run there is I go duels, shocks. I don't play a lot of 3-color, but when I do, I'll get the triomes in there. Then I typically like hit up like the cycling lands because I like to have that if I got that late game that I go, all right, I'm going to cycle this out and draw a card instead.
That's for 2 colors in my mind.
Yeah. For 2 color.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, just like specifying between the 2.
2 to 5 color. Yeah. So, and then the other one I'll do is the 2 or more basics, but that one doesn't, there's only 5 of those. There isn't 10 of those.
Yeah.
So there's some of
Wizards print the other 5.
Right. Exactly.
Please.
Like that's
because the original Battle for Zendikar fetchable lands are my next go-to. It's dual shocks, Battle for Zendikar lands.
Yeah. But they only have the 5.
They only have the 5.
It only fits in with whatever colors you do in there. But there's a few others. What are some of the other ones that you use? I typically am around the lower range. I'm like 4 to 5, I think. 4 to 6 is where I do the fetchable lands.
Well, okay. So that's like I said, like when we were doing our stats here a little bit, when I was going through, my 3-color decks had 6 duels, fetchable duels, which was
that
duels,
makes sense.
Shocks, right, which is 3, 6, and then the triome version of it, because we have that completed.
I guess
oftentimes in my 5-color deck, like I said, I'm not willing to devote.
Probably get a little bit more into that. Would probably be beyond the 8, I would think. Probably at that point you'd hit.
But if you're on a budget, I would not expect everybody to have duels. Go for the Battle for Zendikar lands. I think like you were saying, the cycle duels from Amonkhet are good.
Again, those are only 5 of them too. Like those aren't the full 10 of those.
Yep. So if you're off color or enemy colors, which is like Orzhov, Simic, that version, they don't have as good of mana that you can. And so you just move that into non-fetchable duels. Yeah. Like those, if those 2 combined should be in that range that we're talking about a little bit. But if you still want to try and have the fetchable versions because they're just kind of a little bit better.
Yeah. And the thing is like early game, it depends. I get that fetch in my hand, opening hand, and I play it. And I'm not doing anything that first turn. I'm fine going to grab not a shock because the shock gives me that option of 2 life. I'll go grab the fetchable land that is going to come into play tapped, the cycling one. Or, based on the basics or whatever, you can plan it out better. And so I wish they did have all the 10 there because that would make that a lot easier. But okay, so we go from fetchable into the non-fetchable, which is where we get kind of your Command Tower and all that stuff. Again, we're still into that 2 to 5 color range because I don't know. Would you fit a 1 color in this? No, I don't think you would have this because it's just they're multicolor stuff. So there we have 4 to 9 is what our number is. For that. So like I said, you have your Command Tower, your Plaza of Heroes, your bounce lands, your Battle Bond lands. Battle Bond lands should be one of your top ones, especially playing Commander.
They're good.
I personally like the check lands, the ones that are checking to see if you have one of those because I'm already playing duels. I do like Reflecting Pool. Ancestral, I think I play that more than you do, but that's more tribal. So I don't know.
One?
Ancestral,
the one that like scries you one,
the pathway, yeah. Not pathway, ancestral path, whatever it is. Yeah, so scries you one if you play something that has the same creature type as your.
Yeah, that's a tribal card in my mind. I don't play it in a random deck.
Right.
So it's in my Umbris deck, which is
horrors,
nightmare, like horrors, and horrors, and
then Cavern of Souls, and then our favorite Scrylands would fit in this spot.
Yes, and that again, it's one of those things. Like people give a shit, me and you, for playing Scrylands. I like them, and it doesn't matter what you think.
I have a microphone, and you do not.
I think they're a good spot. I think scrying a card is much better than gaining a life or whatever. If they could figure out different ways of like having ETBs.
ETBs.
Other than just like gaining, if they gain 3 life for having that thing coming to play tapped, I'd be like, yeah, actually that's pretty solid. I wouldn't be mad about that. Right. Yeah. But I enjoy the Scrylands. Like I enjoy like in two color decks, I'll do the Ravnica bounce lands where they ETB tapped, return a land, and like play that with the Scrylands next turn, have them.
Oh, look at that.
Slower game.
That's like you're scrying twice, man. Scrying twice.
You have some scries in your Yarok deck. You scry twice. Woof.
Look at that.
Does that happen? Is that a creature ETB? I don't know. Yarok, you're the one that owns it.
It's when a creature. Shit. It's back there. It's somewhere back there. I don't know. Yes. We're just gonna go with yes. It's been a while.
So, but there are playable ones, and then there are not. Like the Painlands. If you don't have the Painlands from Dominaria / reprinted a ton of times, and they're super cheap right now, go get them. Yeah, they're good. Get like 2 or 3 a piece
for sure.
This is, and they're like I said, they're $1 less. They're 25 cents, whatever. They're fucking cheap.
This is what you like to play. Your fancy, because the nice thing about those Painlands is if you don't need the color, just use it for the colors, and then again. Like fetches, 1 life doesn't matter unless it's the game last night. Then it matters. But you would have tapped your things around a little bit. You know, you'd have been fine. You'd have been fine.
It didn't kill me.
I know. It's not often. Like, because the 1 life, when you get to 1 life and you end up pulling off a win, that's pretty good.
I went up to 5, and then I used my ancient tomb to go down to 3, and
got hit for.
And then Ryan's power went out.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
That's how you win.
That's how you win.
You planned it out.
People's power technical issues.
Simultaneously,
like
when your power came back in and we could hear you again, and then Ryan went out. So I think you did something
super convenient.
Yes, it was.
I'll admit that.
It was.
What's the next one?
Okay, so the last thing we get to here is the utility land. So this one's a little bit more like can go wider, can go different spots. It's different for different things. 6 to 12 is what we have for our utility lands. Utility lands include I use War Room a lot. My 2 color.
Okay.
2 to 1 color.
I missed out a long time ago. I have no idea what's going on.
What do you mean? You missed out?
Yeah, no, the video stopped for me. That's
technical
really? Issues, because we were talking shit about my computer, and then it's like, I'll show you.
So wait, has it been paused for you? Is that what you're saying right now?
I don't know. I don't know when it stopped. I never know. Doesn't matter. I agree with utility lands. I was not there when we started utility lands. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Utility lands. I said 6 to 12. I said that could be we're gonna have a little bit more of a discussion with this. And I was saying things like War Room is something that I use in my 2 color to 1 color decks.
All right.
Yep. I use Rogue's Passage lately because a lot of my commanders are dealing with attacking and getting through and dealing damage. Reliquary Tower almost makes it in every single one of my decks. Command Beacon, Urza's Saga. It's one of my favorites.
Well, I'll ask a question on Reliquary Tower though, because I'm slower brain right now and you're faster. why do you put it in every deck? Is every deck have the potential to just draw more than 7 cards?
Look at you kind of going back to what we were talking about last week. We put a lot more draw in our decks. And so I typically try to have a lot of draw, and I do end up, I discarded last night because I had multiple times more than 7 cards in my hand. So a lot of my decks, because I'm a really good drawer.
Oh, good for you.
Because we don't tutor. And so I put a lot more draw and draw engines. It's not just like draw 1 card. Normally they're engines. So I can get multiple draws per turn or other people's turns and all that stuff. So Reliquary Tower will make it in. It won't go in every deck. If I don't have a good draw engine where I'm like, well, I'm only drawing 1 card at a time, like per spell, then it doesn't make sense to have in there. But if I have engines that are going to draw me more than 1, yes, it will make it in there. And so it does make it in a lot of decks. I won't say 100% of decks, but it makes it in a lot of them. And then I do actually play Inventor's Fair. That is one of my little, because I play a lot of artifacts. And,
I haven't played that in a long time.
And treasures. And it does allow you to tutor up to go get another artifact if you wanted to. You can sacrifice it to go get a tutor, and you gain a life in your upkeep if you have 3 or more artifacts, I believe it is. And that's really easy in Commander to have 3 or more artifacts. So, but that's just some examples. There's a lot of utility lands. Like you can talk about Bajuka Bog in this. You can talk about, this is why this can be huge, because as I'm building.
Can I add in a couple of my favorites?
So,
okay. Fair.
Your video cut out. No, I'm just kidding. We're at an hour and a half. This is awesome. We're gonna do 2 hours again. This is fucking fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. We're not gonna get. We're almost done. This is the last bit, right? That's. And so some utilities that I like. Generally, in my mind, if I don't have cards to play, that's where utility comes into play, and that's where I want to be drawing more cards. And so I like playing Gaia Reach Sanitarium, which is everybody draws a card, discards a card. I like Bonder's Enclave, which is pay 3, tap it, draw a card if you have a creature with power 4 or more. And that goes in almost every like commander that has power 4 or more, just so I know I'm like guaranteed the potential to have a creature with power 4 or more type thing. I like Desolate Lighthouse, which is red, blue, colorless, tap, draw, discard a card. And then if I'm in like a
needing to target
like
commander, like that, you'll play the removing the hexproof and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so there's like Arcane Lighthouse and Desolate Lighthouse, Desolate Tower Lighthouse.
No, it's Lighthouse. Like
yeah. Those two remove like Shroud, Hexproof, Indestructible, shit like that. I like those. What's another one that those are some really, really heavy played ones by me. I like Moorland Haunt? Question mark, which
the
is
X
like
plus O?
No. That's so like they're from Innistrad block and originally, but it's Moorland Haunt, which is white, blue, tap, exile a creature from your graveyard, put a 1/1 spirit into play with flying. And then there's Keswick Wolf Run when I'm like an aggressive red green deck.
Yep, that's in my Blanca deck.
Red green.
Yep.
Because all you have to do is go red green, tap. This creature has trample if you're in a big creature deck.
Right.
But then you can pump it up at whatever mana is available, which is nice too. I believe I haven't done this, so like question mark. I don't know if this actually happens, but I believe you can do it to other people's creatures too. I think it says target creature.
You might be right. Yeah, I think you probably can. So you can help
like
other people out
if
there.
You want, you can be like fucking pump that that crazy card up and it's going to deal damage or whatever. So I think that's a really cool one. I like Hideaway Lands can be really cool.
Yep, I have those in I have, what did I build? With actually Blanca, because one is doing the damage and one is based on the power because it's with green and red. So it worked out. Both the Hideaway Lands worked out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a for monocolored, get your terrain generators, which is pay 2, tap it, put a basic land from your hand into play. That's just straight ramp. that's good in every monocolor deck that isn't green, basically. Yeah, so there's some really fun ones that, like, if you're going into theme, like if they're going to help you out with what you got going on, or if it's, there's like what Castle Lochthwain,
Yep.
that is like black colorless, tap, pay life for as much cards as you have in your hand, draw a card.
Yeah.
Like that one's kind of rough. That one I haven't played with.
Well, the Kamigawa ones are also useful. You have Boseiju. You have
the new ones. Yeah.
Those are all pretty good. The red one I'm so on, but all the other ones I have them in every single deck. The black, the blue,
I have the red
white
one in Ishin because it gives you like creature tokens.
Yeah.
You're just like super.
So I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, it comes into play. It comes into play untapped, and then you can use it if you have it late game. It helps you out. Boseiju obviously should be in every green deck, because it just helps you out there. Yeah, there's a lot of utility lands you can use, and that you just mix and match there. But that we have the 6 to 12, and you can go over that. I do have 2 decks where one of them's at 18 and one's at 20. And those were the monocolored, and there might be a 2-colored one in there, but I think it's mainly monocolored in that.
And I'll be honest, I haven't made a monocolored deck in quite some time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've made one since we've started the podcast.
I've made 3.
I don't think so.
4, because I've done Bruvac, I've done Perforos, Ilharg, which actually Ilharg turned into Perforos, Magda, and now Braids. Braids will be my 5th one since we started.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, it's there's utility lands, as we've talked about it before. It's where it's not make or break your deck, but they really can help out your deck quite a bit. Like it can help you where you're lacking in certain areas. That's where you pick up the slack and you make it in your lands. And they've made enough utility lands, and every set that comes out, not every set has it, but every year we get more and more tools. I mean, think about this year. Kamigawa added so many more utility land tools to our toolboxes. And so this is where you can really make your deck shine if you're lacking in certain areas. I do want to add, is there anything else you want to add for utility lands there, Lau? While you're searching for a beer? Nah?
No, I'm good.
I do want to make mention that the flip lands, not the ones that are dual flips where it's blue or black on the backside.
MDFC.
Yeah, the ones that have like a sorcery on the front and then the back is a land. I don't count those in as my mana, but like I mentioned before, you could almost count those as like a half or a quarter. Most of the time, you're not playing them for that. And the other side is normally tapped. I think all of them are tapped, aren't they? Except for the actual ones that are flipped. So,
but you're still paying like 3 life.
Yeah, I think the rare ones just come into play tapped, aren't they, or something? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I think it's just the mythics that potentially come into play on tapped.
Yeah,
I haven't played a lot of them, and so I
have
know
them in
where
decks.
I would rank them, but I don't.
I have them in decks, but I've never played the land side. I've always played the face side, so that's why I'm saying don't count those
because you're running enough lands,
right?
You're not cheating on lands.
I don't have 28 lands yet. No, so I don't count those in yet. If they keep making sets where they keep making those and useful cards, maybe we start adding those in as another category. But at this time, I would not count those in as your lands.
Okay, in the chat, I saw the discussion of like, oh, mono red, I don't run any of this. Like, I don't run that much land. But the thing would be is like mono red's best draw cards, like Faithless Looting, Thrill of Possibility. You're discarding cards. Right. Mm-hmm. And if you can just know that you have roughly enough land in there, you can discard a land super easy. Like it's right in there with when you're looting or and doing that style of draw, which red and blue has that kind of stuff in there too. Like if you have enough land, you can confidently and quickly just discard a land or two. And I highly suggest run enough land. Now, when you have your precons, they come with like 42 to 44. And I mean, cut that. Seriously, like I've played those things and I go, this is way too much fucking land.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, the biggest thing with the precons is you know, I've thought about, or we've talked about doing like upgrade videos, and the biggest upgrade with those videos is just attacking the lands,
Just
and
the land.
then replacing the 5 to 6 lands extra that they have in there with like other cards, and that's pretty much all you have to do to upgrade those, because they're pretty competitive by themselves, but the land is where they lack.
Is awful.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that it? I mean, we're at an hour and 36 minutes. We have
so one thing that I've wanted to talk about a little bit when it comes to this, when it comes to like when you're, I think we've kind of danced around this, but not specifically. So I'll try and keep this quick a little bit. If you have more colors in your deck, run more fetches, run more fetchable duels, make sure that you're hitting the color counts that you want. And then when you're going down from 2 to 1 in monocolor, like have your utility, have cards that do other things. Like mono white needs utility cards. You know, if blue can draw you more, if you have cards, lands that can draw you more cards that can deal with like giving first strike or untapping, or Boseju, like removal and stuff like that, there's a lot of benefit and utility when it comes to mono and 2-colored. And so the more colors that you add, the more you should be conscious of being able to like cast your spells. And even there, I would suggest, like, if you're in a 5-color deck, don't be putting Cryptic Command in your deck. Don't put 3 pips plus in your deck when it's like colors blue, blue, blue. It's a 5-color deck.
Yeah, you're not going to play that very often.
Don't do it. Even if you feel like your mana base is good, unless you're very confident in that you can do it constantly. Like if you're a 2-color, like when it comes to Kenrith, as an example, that is a white-green deck that can do things with red, black, blue. And so like if you have a 5-color deck, and you know what colors it is, you can lean into those colors. Like if it was a blue deck and green, I could go Cryptic Command potentially, and you feel confident in that. But it's a white-green deck, and I'm like, I'm not going to confidently be able to cast Cryptic Command when I want to.
Right.
It doesn't mean like, oh, I can cast it. It means, when do you want to? Do you want to do it on turn 4 or 5? Unlikely, because I want to lean into green and white in that deck.
Yeah.
And so you need to be fairly confident that you can be casting cards when you want to in a 5-color deck. So that's where that point comes into. The more colors you add, the more you should be focusing on non-fetchables and fetchables when it comes like color choice.
And I would say that when you get into those higher 4 and 5 color, that I think I'm just reiterating what you're saying is the color fixing is more important than the utility part of it. I mean, you still want utilities, but you're really more of, you're playing a 5-color, you're trying to get it so that you can play, you have the 5 colors, especially if you're playing a 5-color that is evenly spaced. Unlike your Kenrith, where you're saying is more 2-color in a way, because you're mainly white, you know. I mean, it is white to get him out, and then you do all your other fun stuff. So the balance of everything is a little more important. So just be conscious about that when it comes to, but I think this is a really good blueprint for where you start. Right.
And then you expand upon what you're doing within your deck. Because again, no blueprint's going to be perfect when it comes to building decks, because everything has different necessities for what that deck is trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, when we've talked about it, like if you're a graveyard recursion deck and we're talking 1 to 3 recursions, like clearly that's not going to work for a recursion deck, or ramp in an elf deck. You know, those things you need to be able to balance out on your own, but having a good base for where you're going. And one thing I didn't want to text, because this was it's an analogy, which is always hard to do in reading via, example of the Bible, but there's joke. That's a joke. And so Magic is a game very base simple. It's draw a card, play a land if you can, play a spell if you can, but you need those resources to be able to do it. And that's all it is. Everything else is based off of, can you play an extra land? Can you draw an extra card? Can you do extra stuff beyond that? And that's what this is. Blueprints this is the base thing that you should kind of be looking at. Can you do anything beyond that and try and push those limits? And that's what your deck is kind of trying to do. And that's how you should kind of look at it.
Yep. That's a very good point. Because, when I build back to our last week episode with the blueprint, when I'm building the deck, I try to fit it in what we had. I'm like, oh, does it fit in that? A lot of times it doesn't. Sometimes I'm like, I'm a little higher on this end and I'm fine with that. I'm like, this is what this deck is doing, and I will explain it when I'm doing it. But yes, that is a very good point. It's a blueprint. It's where you start. And then it's just to help you get started, because the reason why this blueprint started for us talking about this over a year ago at this point, when we first did it.
Yeah, that's true.
Was to be honest with you, to help me, because you have no problem. You built so many decks, and I was like, I need something that, like, we're building so many decks all the time. I need something that I like where I start, because it takes me so long to build decks. And to be honest, it's helped, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, back to the last week's. Well, let's look at these. I'm like, okay, I need, no, last week's is an easier way to do it, but like I need 10 draw spells and I'm at 20. I need to figure out whether the 10 best ones that I have here and cut it down, because it helps me cut. And that's what started this whole thing. And I think it's a fantastic tool, and it's helped me build my decks faster. I'm building them in 1 to 2 episodes, which is 4 hours.
Look at Braids. Braids is a removal based commander.
Mm-hmm.
And so you technically don't need more removal in there.
Right. But you
because
do need to target,
you can consistently affect everybody.
Yeah.
You can, but so that's the thing, is like, do you need more just wrath stuff? Do you need more pinpoint removal? Do you need things that work within that? Maybe there's Strionic Resonator to have it trigger twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or Lithoform Engine, like having those kind of things, that's the question. But like when you're worrying about like, oh, I need to have 12 pieces of removal,
right,
in a removal based commander, it's like, well, no, like that's going to be an awful game. Are you going to draw enough cards? Like, worry about those other things to make sure that it all runs smooth.
Yeah.
And so I haven't. Did you do a part 1 on Braids yet? Or are you doing that? You're doing Thursday. That Thursday?
Yeah.
Plug.
Yeah.
Plug that in.
All right. We're gonna hit 2 hours. It's inevitable.
2 hours.
Yeah, we're gonna hit 2 hours. It's inevitable.
Do it. I'm sorry.
But first we have to do this.
Smith always pays his debts.
All right. Let's do 2 from Black Horizon.
All right. Back to it. Actually, I should be on the card preview.
Oh, it's 2. All
there we go.
Doesn't matter.
Let's get out of this guy. We'll get out of that guy.
There's another one.
Got a bean. Do I have a bean sitting there? Nope.
All right. This one is a Malort shot from.
Well, we gotta do a bean first.
I do it all. All right, you're doing that right now. I have 2 already. This looks like an illegal egg from some bird sanctuary I'm about to eat.
Yeah,
it's brown with white speckles, like it's been bird chat on. Like
mine's either dirty dishwater or birthday cake. So here we go.
I'm worried about this. Hold on, I'm not ready. Which one is this? Oh, this might be okay. This might be liver or cappuccino.
That'll be my next one. That's the other one they have on top. Actually, I'll do the same one because I got 2 of them here. So I'll do the same. We'll see which one's which. Cheers.
Cheers. This one's going to be from Black Horizon. Maybe you appreciate you. I don't know.
Ugh. That's fucking liver and onions. Oh.
That's cappuccino. Yeah. That's not too bad.
No. Ugh.
I still need. Yeah. I like cappuccino. Well, it's all right.
That's not what it is. Gross.
It is what it is.
Ugh.
is what it is. I only have like a week or two left.
I need a beer.
It's not too bad. I like that.
Ugh. All right, Malort. Last
Last one from Lord. This one's from Paul. Nebraska is still trash. There we go.
No, it's not. It is one of the greatest cards ever made.
Cheers.
Sucks when you don't.
It's Malort is something that I almost like. It's like if there's a 5-second like point of like spitting something out, it's like 1 second. I'm almost spitting it out within that. Like,
I really regret that you came across. How did you come across Malort? Was it Ibukaki?
Shay, my buddy
Shay
gave it to me as a Christmas present because we're really good friends from college, and because he warned me. He was like, "I love this shit." And everybody else hates it, so he needed to get rid of it. And I still question if he likes it or just wanted to get rid of it.
I think he just wanted to fuck with you.
Well, that's a possibility.
All right, other jelly bean. We're gonna have how many for next week?
I don't know what this one is. This one's much more pink. This might be like
we could do one at the end. Mine's pink too. Mine has pink and speckles.
Yeah, it could be dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie.
Oh, mine's either dirty dishwater or birthday cake. Did you already chew it?
Oh. No. Isn't that white though? That's like white.
Well, it's like a pink with white little. Hey, Paul's on here. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, he is. He's talking shit about Scrylands.
Yeah, we have the same one, dude. We have the same too. All right, here we go.
All right. I don't know. That's strawberries. Strawberry banana smoothie. How you doing?
I think Malort has killed my taste.
It just fucks with shit.
Maybe it's it is dirty dishwater.
You almost got us.
Yeah, it's dirty dishwater.
Black Horizon.
Ugh.
That's 2 gone. I'm all right. I got a cappuccino and strawberry. Maybe I'm just friends with Black Horizon. Like, that's not too bad. I'm happy about that.
All right. Let me get to our. Ugh.
You suddenly turn Scottish when you're doing this shit. Like, or
right.
Donald Duck protege.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Yeah.
Staple versus. All right. What did we have last week? We had. I gotta flip my page over here.
Look it up. We had Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, which has much better music. And I'm going to guess Mortal Kombat did much better, even though the voting was down. It's a midterm election voting section right now. That's what happened last week.
That's a good point. Okay. Yeah, this was not good. Let's start with Discord. They went 90%. The only vote was the one that me starting the whole entire thing for Mortal Kombat. So 90% because we only had 9 votes, which, it wasn't a lot. Like 10 total votes. But
Wow.
So
thank you so much for your support, Discord. You are the best.
Not a single person voted for Street Fighter, which I find funny because I thought I saw people saying they love Street Fighter, but no one showed up for the polls. Way to go, Republicans. I don't know. Sorry. Just kidding.
I'm back.
We moved to YouTube. Which is generally our most voting, and 64% voted for Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
And then Twitter, 60% Mortal Kombat. Bullshit.
Oh.
You kicked my ass.
Are you saying that the election was rigged?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
There was a lot of mail-ins that got counted more than once, and
That's what happened. All right. Well, I mean, it's obvious who won.
Yeah, go ahead and put your crown on, you bastard. All right. So what do we have for this week's staple versus, Lowery?
All right. So I'm going to be representing in this podcast of court.
Podcast of court.
Azusa, Lost but Seeking. This is 1 green, 1/2 human monk. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns.
That says the same, like each of your turns on the other. I don't know why you emphasize the each
of your turns. I don't know why it says each either. I'm going to be honest. It should just be on your turn.
Yeah.
How many?
Well, if you took another turn, but it'd still be your turn. Yeah, so it doesn't.
And then you have
Dryad of the Elysian Grove, a sexy ass nymph that is sitting in a tree. Wait, let me get the right version of this. Where's our really sexy guy? It's a secret layer drop. That's what we need.
He's like deep in the eyes.
Look at that.
That's
look at that.
fair.
Oh, man.
That's not
that
fair.
He is.
Oh,
he's penetrating the
right now.
soul. Not
Look
only
at
is he
that.
penetrating, he's penetrating my soul. And actually, what I'm just noticing, he's a nymph dryad. Was he a nymph dryad in the other one?
He was. What do you mean? Oh,
No, he's just a nymph. Why did they
nymph?
change him to a nymph dryad in the secret layer? What?
Because they just need to add more words.
All right.
Or
So-
they were just like, this is a nymph. Like, it's very sexual, but it says Dryad in the name. Let's add in Dryad.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. All right, so same casting cost. This is quite a bit bigger. We got double on everything. It's a 2/4 compared to a 1/2. So this thing kicks Azusa's ass just straight up with his eyes. That's why. With his eyes.
Staring into your penis hole. One eye.
One eye. It is an enchantment creature. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. So one less land. I get that. Yep. But
one less land for sure.
But like we were talking about with our land section, lands you control are every basic land type in their addition to other land types. So one land.
Okay.
So cards like the Collective Restraint, which costs 1 less for each basic land type you have.
What is that?
Oh, it's from the Dominaria set that just came out. So it's a
that
removal
new one.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's really expensive.
Don't play that.
That costs you 1 to remove stuff, like other things like.
You mean like Path of Exile, and like you got to work to do the same thing that you can already do?
No, but you get multiple things. Like yours. What is yours? How does that help that one out? If yours is out.
I get to play 2 lands.
Yeah, but I get to play 1 land, and
let's add in
3 to 5.
Let's add in like 1 card that works with both of these. But
no, all the
Crucible of
Scion
Worlds
of Draco only costs 2, or Draco costs 6. Domain cards get reduced.
You want to add in a bad card? Like
not
people
Scion
don't
of
play
Draco.
that card to
Scion
play.
of Draco
like,
is actually pretty fantastic. That's actually a really good card.
No,
it's actually
it's
up there
not.
in price. It's up there in
It's
price.
not a good card. Do
you know what that one does?
What?
Scion of Draco?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's a good card.
It's not a good card.
Should I pull it up? Scion.
No, you don't need to.
Draco.
If you want to, like, say why it's bad, fine.
So this will cost you 2 for a 4/4 flying. Each creature you control has vigilance if it's white, hexproof if it's blue, lifelink if it's black, first strike if it's red, and trample if it's green. That's pretty fucking fantastic. That's like an Achroma type thing.
Right. That would be fantastic if you had 2 cards randomly happen in the 99. Do not build your decks like Adam is suggesting. Look.
Oh, look at Renshai says he plays his Scion of Draco in his Dragon deck. This is fantastic.
Which is a 5-colored deck.
Exactly.
You wouldn't play
is
Dryad in a 5-colored deck
yes,
necessarily.
You're going to. Of course you are. Of course
you could.
are. Not you could.
But it's
You're not going to play
only good
Azusa.
in a 5-color deck.
No,
are you
5,
going to play
4,
this in a
3,
in a 3-color
2?
deck or
Oh,
2?
hell yeah.
Would you play Dryad in a 1-color deck? Probs not.
Man, you got me there.
Maybe 2,
That's
but
your one positive.
probs not.
That's your, I give you 2 positives. I said yours is great for landfall. Mine is good for landfall. Yours is great for landfall.
Yes.
And yours is good for mono green, which green already has all the ramp help.
Or mono 2-colored. That's fine.
Mono 2-colored. What? Let's go back to our list.
Do you see this right here, baby? Hail to the king.
Land type matters stuff is fantastic with Dryad of the Ilysian Grove. Like anything with that, like all the graveyard stuff, like anger.
When you say fantastic,
wonder,
you mean not as good
filth?
as Azusa, right? For landfall,
no,
right?
The thing is Azusa, like, yeah, you get an extra land, but how often, if you're playing things right, you shouldn't have multiple lands sitting in your hand, like 5 or 6. Then you're mono flooded. Then you're playing like Lowery and you have 40, 50 lands in your hand, and you shouldn't be playing that many lands.
Okay, let's say, like, if you have a landfall deck, you potentially have bounce lands, which can happen because it's play a land, you can return it back to your hand, and then you could play it, return it back to your hand, and you're done with Dryad. And then you could play it again with Azusa and then bring it back to your hand. Like, that's the big thing, is that it allows you to bring like lands back from the graveyard, like fetches with Crucible of Worlds,
so does
one
Dryad.
more time.
So does Dryad.
And it's like having an
Dryad.
extra turn in landfall decks versus that. That's what it's like. It's
yours
like
is only specific for landfall decks. So
when it comes to Crucible of Worlds, or when it comes to
didn't you just say a couple weeks ago that you stopped playing Crucible of Worlds? I thought I remember that. You got something in your throat?
Yes.
I'm just gonna drink a beer. I will give you.
That was a couple of months ago.
I will give you that Azusa is great in landfall decks. But you will also be playing Dryad in those landfall decks. I know we only have one choice. That is the whole bit of this whole thing.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Let's not be rational.
Here's my other bit of this. That part is landfall. Well, what are you going to play? What do you normally play with a landfall?
Are you
deck?
shooting your shot? This is what you're supposed to be saying, like, next week.
No, are you playing a 2-color landfall deck? Or are you playing Lord Windgrace, like a good landfall?
Who the fuck just said that?
I don't know. Those Black Horizon.
You would
Black Horizon, you got to type it in less.
Yeah. Plus, I've never removed a Dryad and a Zeus. Okay, that's a really good point. The removal point. We've talked about this multiple times. But what is the easiest thing to remove in this game?
Azusa
enchantments.
Shut up. It always comes up on this because this is where you can lie through your tooth. You just lie through your tooth. That enchantments are not the easiest thing. It also makes it so it's easier to fetch, because now if you're looking for an enchantment or a creature, thank you for bringing that up. You can go and tutor for this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean fetch. Good point.
It's too loud. Don't play that one.
It's too loud for Ibukai.
If you're going to go tutor for an enchantment, you're going to get a better enchantment.
No,
if you're going to go get a
what if you're
tutor for a creature, you got to tutor for a better creature.
No, this is fantastic.
Neither of these are tutorable.
This is fantastic, especially in 5-color, 4-color, 3-color decks. 2-color decks, yeah, I'll play it. What do you normally play? What color? How many color decks do you normally play?
3.
Oh, all right. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, Azusa is fantastic.
Azusa is good in landfall. Dryad is good in landfall and in 3 to 5, and then 2-color. It's still good. It's giving you an extra land drop. It's like, I'll play this probably. Would you play this
just
over
going off of whatever you think that you're doing? But like the big thing is like, we are talking about drawing a ton of cards earlier and having Thought Vessel in our hand. Like, if you just played Azusa, you wouldn't need Thought Vessel. You wouldn't have to worry about cards in your hand because you could play so many lands and get so far ahead.
Why was I talking about Thought Vessel?
Thought Vessel. When you don't have to discard cards from your hand,
That's not
because you
Thought
have
Vessel.
so many cards in your hand,
That's
most of them are
Reliquary
going to be
Tower.
land.
That's
And then you're just going to be able to play more land. You're just going to get more ahead. Like I said, it's like an extra turn.
It's not like
in
an
land.
extra turn.
It's like an extra turn in green. That's what it's like.
Is that what you're saying? Is it's like 2 extra turns because you're getting 2 lands, and mine's like an extra turn?
No, it's an look. It's an extra turn compared to Dryad.
By the way,
so yes,
Dryad,
it is 2 extra turns.
Dryad works
without Dryad.
How well does does Azusa work with like Cabal Coffers?
What?
And Cabal Stronghold.
What?
How well does it work with that?
You should have also said what with Cabal Stronghold, because it doesn't work with Cabal Stronghold.
Oh, sorry, Cabal Coffers.
Yeah.
Sorry, because that says basic swamps. I remember right. Yep. But Cabal Coffers.
Yep.
Cabal Coffers. How about the fantastic card from our old school days, Nightmare? My horse is
No, you're totally right. Your horse. It
is
literally
Nightmare in your horror deck? Is
Nightmare
in your horror deck? Because isn't it a horror? Or is it?
No, actually, it's probably it. No, it's not. It's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, you don't
nightmare. Its creature type is Nightmare, which was surprising but stupid.
Let's see what else. Leyline Binding, I already said that, makes it cost 1. Collective Restraint. Oh, that card's fantastic with this.
When you said that, I had to think about it, and I still don't remember. What is that?
That's the costing. So if I had this out, it'd be.
I was like, I knew it. They'd have to pay 5
to attack you with
creature.
one
Yep,
creature.
Yep,
yeah.
You're right. Yep, you're right. Totally. But again, what you're doing is
let's just end it right there.
Bad
You're right.
deck building thing where you're like, I have this one card that works.
I gave you
if
so
all
many
of my
examples.
all of my lands were
I
every
gave
basic
you
land
so
type,
many
and so I
examples.
should add in Dryad. Like that's a bad way of building decks. Then you keep on bringing up that style.
Okay.
And
can I add one more point to this since we're over the 2-hour mark?
Might as well.
How long
more
has
points to the crown?
How long has Azusa been out? Let's see. Champions of Kamigawa is its first time it was printed.
Right. Like 3-4 years ago.
Champions. Azusa is only like what, 2 years old at this point? Coming up on 3.
Dryad? You meant Dryad to say, but yes, Azusa only like 2.
What did I say? Did I
Dryad,
say
you said 2. That Dryad Secret Lair came out like 2 years ago.
No, Dryad with the Theros. It was like 2.5 years.
Yeah, that rotated out, which means it's at least 2 years old.
2.5 years old. Yeah, because it was in the winter. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're talking about a Champions of Kamigawa. How many decks do you think that one's in? Just curious.
At least 3 more than Dryad.
Well, it's in 61,000, which is a lot. That's a lot that's a good card.
That's respectable. Respect, Azusa. No respect.
Where do you think Dryad is? You said 3,000 more.
Like so 60. I said three less. Like specifically 3 less.
Just 3, like 60,997 type of thing. 73,000 EDH rec decks, and it's only been out like a decade less than
right
Kamigawa.
Right. And so how I would explain this away would be that more people are in the game now than there was 15 years ago when
it got printed in M21.
Azusa came out.
It came out in Core Set 2021. Core Set 2021.
What?
Yeah,
I'm doing the Stone Cold bit. What?
Masters 25, Core Set 2021.
Yeah. Okay.
It has a lot of printings. And Theros and Secret Lair is the only thing that the Dryad has. All right. We're over 2 hours. You guys can vote for this on the Discord. You guys can vote for this on the community tab on YouTube. And you can vote for this on Twitter. We'll announce the winners next week. Thank you guys for joining for another 2-hour plus episode. We are just, this is what it is. This is what it is. It feels like
this is what it is now.
This is what it is.
I'm sorry.
All right. All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
I love boobs. I'm talking
I have a very
tatas.
full beard.
I
Like a very
love
full beard.
boobs.
And I
Some
have to
bunkers
pee
for honkers.
really, really
I
bad.
love boobs. Thanks for the memories.
We're gonna wait.
Love
We're gonna wait.
boobs.
Whoop, wrong way. That way.
Yeah.